Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Ta ta ta. Testing. Ta ta. Now you can hear me. All them folks who are like, and you make the traditional art, you draw on paper, and then when I draw on paper, they're never here. Watch, they'll show up and be like, "You ever draw digital?" I'm like, oh wait, okay, yeah, I can't do both at the same time. I can't draw digital, and I can't draw traditional at the same time. So funny, man. It's hilarious. We're gonna ink this Donnie, and then we're gonna do some color pencil and all that shit. So, um, definitely gonna stream the inking, and I'm definitely gonna be streaming some color pencil. Although I might have to take a break to go do podcasts and then come back and get caught up on it. So, let you all know because I had a late night last night and I did not get up on time. So, it's the way it rolls. It's the way it rolls. I'm gonna give everyone about 5 more minutes to kind of shuffle on in, and then we'll get going. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? How you doing? How y'all doing? Alrighty, now we got enough people in there. Let's get going. Still a little inking. Let's get that a little closer. It's pretty good. Let's see here. Let's see here. Point one. I haven't done this in like a couple days, so just bear with me. No warm up. Hey, what's up, legend? What up? Do 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 do. Yo. There we go. Just making sure it works. Some weird delay on my mic for some reason on the. Hey, what's up, Neil? Been a while. Been a while, Neil. Yep, that's what I'm doing.
Hey, Rob.
Hey, what's up, Allison?
Not much. How are you?
I'm alright. Was up late. Didn't want to be, but it's the way it works.
That's the way the world works sometimes. I was up later than I usually been myself. Oh, then I didn't want to get up for a while. It's looking good.
It's just getting the work done.
Yeah.
Got a bunch of shit to do before a bunch of other stuff starts. So it's like, people see me doing stuff like the digital watercolor, and they're like, "Hey, when's my commission?" I'm like, "Just chill out, guys. Like one for me, one for you. Like that's like
Exactly.
seriously, you know."
Yep.
Yeah, I took your. No offense, guys. $100 for a commission isn't really much, Like, not, I get it, but like, I see $500 sketches going at cons, So like, just
Yeah.
for what I'm doing, like, for what I do with these things, like, I would put them in a gallery for 500 a pop. Just letting people know, you know.
Mm-hmm.
If they were sitting on a wall in a little coffee shop or in a little local gallery studio for a pop art month, to be 500 to 1,000 a piece. Just letting everyone out there know. Like I do the rates that I do because one, I just don't. I just think people should have access to fucking cool art,
I
you
agree.
know. And two, I don't want fucking the same three tech bros buying up all my shit.
Yeah.
Four, um, it gives me like this is at my pace, you know. This
Yep.
is at my pace. I got this Power Rangers thing. I was hoping to fucking start yesterday, but did not
Oh, is that
happen because
the multi-page one?
yeah, well, I'm not doing the comic pages anytime soon because I got other shit to do. But I'm just gonna do
Hmm.
the big pinup piece with all the pieces have to be drawn individually. It's a giant truck of fucking work. Like,
Yeah.
and so like the guy who commissioned me for it, he did it like a year and a half ago. But like I told him, I said, look, I don't want to draw this. So if you want me to work on this, I have to find a way. It could take me months. I got to find a way to make it work in my head. And so prepay at your own peril. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm not in any hurry to get going on this. The Power Rangers are not my thing, folks. I've tried to tell people like when I first saw it in high school, that's when I realized, oh, this is for my little brothers.
Yeah.
I mean,
Exactly.
although here I am watching The Tick and Animaniac and Beavis and Butthead and fucking Rugrats. So I don't know. How about this? It's fucking stupid. Like, and you gotta enjoy. Look, I love stupid shit. You have to be into that particular set of stupid shit. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and it's not for me. Like, but I figured a way into it, and then when I started working on it, it opened up doors.
Hmm.
My it is weird, and so now I gotta like wrap it up. But one of the problems I had, if you go back, there's a Power Ranger or Red Ranger I did individually. That was
Yeah.
initially for this bit. Same dude.
Huh.
Like that was gonna be one. But the problem I ran into was one, that particular way of drawing and inking was a fucking chore for me to do.
Hmm.
Like I can't begin to describe to you. Like it's a lot of like a line and then redraw a line and then redraw a line. Like it, my process of inking and drawing digitally was not where I wanted it to be, and coloring wise, I felt I was going backwards. You can kind of see it. I feel you can see it on this like Borderlands one that kind of existed right before it. I was
Hmm.
very unhappy with that output. And so like I stopped all commissions, and part of that has to do with stuff that I was doing at a day job at concept art and video games and stuff. Like so, like when I got that done, I said, "Hey, I know I got this done, but I'm probably gonna redo this because like this is not what I'm trying to do."
Right. You
Oh, I
weren't
love
happy.
it. I get he loves it,
Yeah.
but to me that's jobber shit. When you're pandering, this is gonna sound mean, but when you're pandering to the client, like you're trying to impress the client, you're jobbing.
Mm.
Like you're just like, well, there's your client. You get what you want. No, no, you don't. That's what I do when I'm working for a major corporation and I have no emotional investment in what I'm working on.
Right.
When you are creating as an artist, the client is receiving the fucking art that you produce.
Exactly.
It's a different mindset, you know? The,
No, yeah, no, I get it.
yeah, and Bill Watterson ain't sending fucking, a sketch of someone going, you like that? You want some more? So, like, I'll tell you about this off camera, Allison, because I don't want to get
Yeah.
into it too much here.
Oh
But
yeah.
like,
No, I hear you.
I was working on a commission for someone, and they kept saying, "Could you add this and that?" And I was like, "It's not a good idea to add stuff. Just letting you know. Like, adding more things doesn't make this a better bit." And then they'd be like, "All right, cool." And then like 5 minutes later, and could you add this or that? And I'm just like, "Did you not fucking?" And these are professionals. You know what I mean? Like, and so then I'm like, yeah, I'll add this stupid shit. But in back of my head, I'm like, I'm gonna get this done. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna get it done fast. I'm fucking never working with this person again. And I don't tell them. They go right into my fucking crazy file,
Oh
Like,
yeah.
so a lot of times when people are like, wouldn't it be great if you worked here or worked on that? I'm like, yeah, I worked with those people. No. No, never again. You know?
Oh, I hear you. I hear you. I hear you completely.
That's what happened to IDW. When I was working on the Transformers covers, I had a plan for my fucking covers. I was supposed to be the lead cover guy, and then they were like, "We got Willis Portasio, so you're off." I'm like, "You get to do the D cover, not even the B cover, the D cover." And I was like, "All right, if I known I was doing D covers, I'd never fucking agreed to this fucking gig." But I've known I knew that the publisher personally. He was the guy who
Hmm.
used to own a company called Ape Entertainment, which kind of gave me my first comics work. So I was
Yeah.
like, I'll do these, but like, in the back of my head, I'm like, I'm just gonna. They agreed to the vision, so I'm gonna do the vision, finish it, and get out because it'd be fun to accomplish what I had in mind.
Hmm.
Halfway through that fucking process, they were like, and add this, and add that, and add this, and then I wanted it to like escalate to a fight on the covers, and then by the six covers, by 3 and 4, you're building up to a fight, and then 5 and 6, you're paring it back down. So
Right.
the first cover would start with 3 characters, and the last cover would end with 3 characters, and in the middle it ramps up.
Yeah.
That wasn't happening for them. They wanted me to do story. Well, in this case, should we do this? I'm not the cover artist for this fucking comic. Why am I doing story related fucking
Yeah.
drawings? I'm still mad
Exactly.
about this. I'm still mad about this. Like, it's 5 years
Never.
ago. I'm
I
I'm
never
I'm
could have
as
known.
mad today. Yeah. Yeah,
Oh.
because I can't look at the art that I gave them. This art I turned in is so fucking ridiculous. I was like, all right, you want more shit? I put so much shit in there. I digitally drew Optimus Prime so I could add more shit on him than I normally would. I
Hmm.
threw in I threw in so much explosions and particles you can't see anything. It's a fucking Where's Waldo of fucking bullshit. It's horrible. People are like, this is too much. I'm like, isn't it? Isn't it?
I never would have known.
Yeah. Yeah. I hate it. And then they paid me fucking like 6 weeks late. So like whatever. And then the guy goes, your cover sold the worst. I'm like, well, because fucking no one knows who I am. I was supposed to be the main cover artist, dickweed.
Yeah.
Like you can't put a no name on the fucking variant covers these days. Like people don't buy the variant covers because they go, man, that looks cool. That's like That's like 90s thinking. That's Gen 13, 13 covers. I'll get the one with the Jason Pearson holding the boobs. That's not it.
Right.
People buy variant covers when there's a name attached to it. So they can slab those fucking stupid things, you know? And
Yep.
like, which I don't agree with any of this shit, but that's the game.
Not either.
That's the game that we live in. So when you're like, hey, no name fucking, Artist McGee over here is fucking doing the D cover. Well, why the fuck would they be having why would one comic book shop anywhere in this country have an incentive to fucking purchase for that? You figured that one out. When the main cover is Willis Portasio,
Yeah.
the incentive cover should be Willis Portasio. You fucking
Exactly.
nitwits. Like, so you can get them to buy the 500 copies to get the Willis. Like, and then they're like, hey man, you want to draw Warblade series? Wingblade, the female
Blade.
geisha looking. Yeah, which I
Oh,
thought she's dope.
yeah. Yeah, she's cool.
I enjoyed drawing her on the one cover I did. That wasn't the cover I wanted to do, but that was when they started making me put story elements on the cover. But I
Hmm.
at least had fun drawing her. Um, Cover 4 was the one. The last one that I planned was cover 4. Cover 5 and 6 are dog shit. But I just didn't reply to the email. I was like, there's no conversation I can have in which like they're gonna listen to my. I just like I'm one of these people also where I'm like, if I can't, it's not that I don't need to win the conversation. I don't need to win the argument. If I feel I'm talking to an unreasonable, like a person who won't even hear me out,
Hmm.
then like I just don't talk to them. Like
Well, I can respect that. I
I
can
just,
completely respect that.
yeah. And maybe it's not the best business practice, but I'm like, it's not like they've been doing me any favors. They weren't, and I didn't go out there and blast them and shit. It's been 5 years.
Yeah.
But like, I follow a lot of the Transformers artists, you know, and
Hmm.
like, even today, a few of them are like Alex Klein or whatever. There's a few of them on there, Malign. They're
Hmm.
like, you know how long it takes to draw one of these pages? I'm like, it shouldn't. It shouldn't. And I know why. Because they run those books the way Kevin Grievous was running me on Monstroids back in the late 2000, the aughts or
Yeah.
whatever, 2008, 2009, where
They
like
want you to stay on the model sheet.
they want every character on every fucking page, man,
Yeah. And they
regardless
want
of who's talking.
yeah, and they want you to be staying on the model sheet, not deviate in the slightest.
And they're not that
Granted,
big on that. Honestly, the licensor is not as big about the model sheet.
oh weird.
What
I think
they're
even more so.
No, no, they're less on that. That's more like the video game companies flip over that.
Huh.
Um, I mean, if you're more or less there, they don't. But these guys probably. I mean, some of them might make it a bigger deal. Like the wings always on this side. I don't give a shit if the fucking wings on this side. If this fucking pose don't work, I'm cutting that wing off.
Yeah.
Like I don't operate on that level. So like, but my whole problem with even like attempting to think about drawing a Transformer series was like they're just gonna have me drawing fucking boxes. I'm gonna be drawing a lot of boxes, and I don't want to draw box. Like I, at least I had an interest when I was like maybe I could do some of that dream wavy shit a little bit with the chunky robots because I like chunky.
Yeah, I
And
like that.
then oh the fans were livid, Allison. Like, you fucking keep that fucking dreamwave shit out of here. It's old shit. We got our new stuff. And while they got their new stuff while simultaneously complaining that they hate the new stuff. You figured that one out. So, which I didn't care. I was like, well, I'm drawing chunky formers, and all I give a shit is you just make sure you're bitching every day so I get the engagement. Like I don't care. Buy them all. Buy them, shred them, to burn them. You know what I mean? Like I don't care. They're probably anti-global climate change anyway, so it's like, hey, you know what? Wreck the fucking Earth. Buy as many. Decepticon the Earth. Buy as many as you want of these fucking things. Burn them. Which I'm sure IDW does not want to hear from Rob. I'm like, I can't
Probably
appeal
not.
to their good nature, so we gotta, like it takes Autobots and Decepticons. So like, you know, whatever. I don't know how I got on this. Oh yeah, unreasonable fucking requests. You
Yep,
know,
unreasonable requests, and we sidetracked into why Rob hates IDW.
I don't hate them. I'm sure
I
there's
know,
it's not one company, but like
I know. That was just
it's
being.
the minute you're working with folks, it's like how can I trust? It's always a game of trust. They're trusting you're going to come through with the work, hopefully on time, right? Like
Mhm.
these days, on time is still a little questionable, but
Rob,
ultimately
you're
that's the
gonna
first.
beat the shit
You're
out
gonna
of me.
they really do give more shit about if the work's exciting. Like
Yeah,
that's will you come through? Are you a person who can manage your own time? Don't need a babysitter.
I know with my friend Ian when he was doing some turtle covers for them, and they were crazy about being on model sheet for the look because they wanted the animated look from the not Rise, but the one before that. Um, they
I mean, if
wanted
it's a
to,
specific, like that new GI Joe book that looks exactly like the cartoon,
yeah,
that's a point where you have to do that because that's the
mhm.
whole point.
Yeah,
They're
it's
trying to
supposed to
give
be
you
that way.
more, but that's a job. That's a jobber job, Allison. I'm not doing that. That's
Oh
some
yeah, no,
shit
I
I
hear you.
would have jumped on 10 years ago just to get a gig. I'm not doing. No, fuck that. No, it's not. I'm not there. I'm not a jobber no more, man. And look, I'm gonna tell you, the first time I put my foot down on that bullshit was when I was working with Tom at ID at Big Dog,
Hmm.
and uh, he wanted me to do this Jungle Girl cover, and I know he wanted some sexy J. Scott Campbell looking fucking thing, which up to that point I was willing to give him, but I did not do that. And the people in the Kickstarter loved it, but Tom hated it, and the little fucking porn dogs that fucking buy that shit over in the retail side, they want some super curvy, ultra sexy fucking broad, which I'm not against doing. I just was like, you're already gonna get five of those fucking covers.
Yep.
So like, he wanted me doing this like McFarlane homage, which I don't do, but I'm like, fine. So like, let me find a way to get the female fan because I have a strong female side to me in terms of like the shit I love. My mom in the early '80s was super feminist, so like I love strawberry shortcake. You know what I mean?
Well,
I like the Care Bear. Yeah,
one of the reasons I
saying,
like your art so much is I like how you draw women.
well,
I
you're
mean,
gonna love this, Allison. You're gonna love this story, right?
okay.
So I do this, and I could tell Tom. He goes, "Oh, cool, cool." I'm like, he's not cool, you know. And so the next cover he asked me to do, he goes, "Hey, I want you to do this Anubis cover," and it's this chick fighting in Anubis, and so I did the fucking layout, and he goes, she's too thick, man. Like that Jungle Girl cover you did, she's too. My audience isn't into that sort of thing with the thick legs. And I'm like, Tom, let me go show you fucking 500 photos of you with your audience at fucking Comic Con and show you what your audience, who they're dating. You know what I mean? What kind of girls are actually dressing up like? Maybe they want to see themselves as. And I told him, I said, you really gonna fucking tell Sam Keith on the Max to not draw Julie that fucking way, dude? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, and I just was like, all right, I slimmed the legs down a little bit. I gave him like that's a little bit, but I was like, I'm no longer working with you.
Hmm.
I said I'm out. I'm done. I'm done with this. You know, don't tell me your fucking audience. This doesn't. This resembles your audience in their taste more than anything you've done. You know,
Yeah.
but Tom doesn't personally want to jerk off to that cover, so you know, allegedly, but like but that's all I hear, Alice. That's it's like, well, this doesn't give me a boner, so I'm not into it. I don't give a shit. Maybe it's not designed to.
Well, I can
How
definitely
about
say,
that?
like, I'm into. I like the way like J. Scott Campbell draws women and stuff like that because he makes them basically cheesecake, and I think he does a reasonable job with it. He doesn't usually go too far
He's
over
the
the top.
best artist. look, I've been following J. Scott Campbell's work since Nintendo Power, 1989, 88, somewhere around there. When,
He was a Nintendo Power, wasn't he? I
yeah, he
forgot.
won this was he called Lock Arm? What it was
Yeah.
like design a video game, he designed an RPG, and like it was
Yep.
Jeffrey Campbell. Because I was like, a kid won this shit. I thought for certain it was going to be some adult, you know.
Yeah.
So like I've been, and I own all the books. I own his fucking the
I got.
big green book with all of his
Yeah.
childhood drawings and shit in there. The
I don't
dude
have that one. I
prob
want to get that one.
that is worth every fucking penny. If you're like it's expensive, it is worth every penny. Just letting you know.
That
It's
makes
just like a
sense.
giant comics journal interview style with oversized hardcover, all black and white images, cool inks and shit. And so, it's the only place you could get him talking about Wildsiders and shit, like
Hmm.
because it was done so long ago. Um, what I was trying to say is he really should have been like the '90s Art Adams on the X-Men books, you know. But the way the world went down, like after a while, after Danger Girl felt like the experience he had on Batman was a nightmare with DC, he really should have been on X-Men for about 10 years or
Yeah.
Spider-Man the book. But he went
Yeah.
that pinup route. And now there's a whole industry. I don't know if people are aware out there. There's a whole industry now of people that just draw like J. Scott Campbell for covers. They're at Zenoscope, they're at Big Dog Ink, they're at all these little third tier publishers. And I've done some of it. Like 10 years ago, I did it because I was like a challenge. Oh, could I draw like J. Scott Campbell? Can I get that inking that like him and Townsend did on Danger Girl, specifically issues 1 and 2? Not a big fan after that. Like
Hmm.
I'm very particular about. I like the way they were drawn on issue 1 and 2, and then they turn into that weird bony fucking Mad Magazine face. Shit's not my thing.
Yeah.
But I accomplished that, and then I started putting in my own bits. I'll put in this, I'll put in that, like little minions, little plushies that are like, oh, maybe they're alive, maybe they're not alive. And the minute I started putting in just a little something for Rob, don't leave that out. Don't do that. You know, don't do that. That thing, it's not in the book. So don't put. I'm like, all right, man. Um, I quit the first time over that.
Hmm.
You know, because I was like, I had this whole thing planned out, and then Tom just wanted me drawing this chick on a stripper pole. It's probably one of the worst pieces of art I've ever made. You know,
Worse than the red.
hate the
Worse
face.
than
Oh,
the
I hate it. Yeah, the face is
red
dead.
line.
It's lifeless. It's angular. It's horrible. I haven't deleted it because I like that's a good reminder. You know, for me, it's a good reminder for Rob to. And so, like when I came back, I was like, oh, I'm never. And I told him, I said, and he was like, well, I apologize. He apologized. To her for the way I treated you and shit. I'm like, all right, he went through a divorce. Maybe he got his shit together.
Hmm.
But no, nothing's changed. And I got friends that work for those companies currently doing that J. Scott Campbell look, and I'm just like, and I try to like, they reach out to me every now and then because they'll find my work and go want some advice or just want to be friendly. And I'm always trying to tell them, like find your inner voice. Like they're just creating a bunch of these little Scott Campbell clones because when they run out of one, they want someone else to come on there. You know what I mean? And they're
Yeah.
just creating a little industry for themselves, and no one's gonna remember your fucking name. They're just gonna remember they got more of that Scott Campbell style art. That's it, and no
Yep.
one's telling them that. But I try, Allison, to like find like real subtle ways, like because there's some really nice people out there that I just feel are being taken advantage of, and they don't even realize it. You know,
Yeah. No, I hear you. What was that book that Campbell did? Time Capsule? Was that it?
that's the one. Yeah, that's worth every penny. Yeah, it took me a while to jump on that one because I was like, oh no, man, it's like 70, $80 or some shit like that. It's fucking awesome. The interview's great,
Hmm.
and it's them talking pretty candidly. I don't think J. Scott Campbell would ever talk that candidly now.
No, that was back in like in 2004 and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It was right when he was starting Wildsiders. He was all excited about it, and then all those plans went nowhere. So he did this mistake, and he thought he could figure out the industry because of his experiences dealing with executives trying to translate Danger Girl to the screen.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, they kept going, well, you don't have enough diversity in your characters. We want to add a black character or Hispanic character. And so, with Wildstars, he was like, I'll make everyone like look like an actual actor that you kind of recognize, and I'll diversify the cast, and no. At the end of the day, I never once felt like I was getting a piece of his interests. I was getting what he thought would sell,
Right.
you know? And so there's a lot of fucking cool ass art in there, you know? There's a lot of stuff to be said about having a diverse cast, but like you don't do that to check off a list. You do that because that's the story you want to tell. And if he was that passionate about doing Wildfires, he would have finished at least 6 issues and completed it. But he quit after issue 2. He said, well, the numbers aren't there. Well, and you didn't give a shit. You didn't
Yep.
give a shit. You didn't give a shit. It was a giant fucking, like, we'll put this together to hand it to producers, which is what was happening at that time. Was everyone was walking in with their pitch boards and their pitch meeting. We got the comic, we got all this stuff, we got this great art. They don't give a shit, you know? They don't care.
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you mean because that was kind of the start of everything. Was right around then.
Yeah.
Rainy night in the Philippines. Hope you're doing well.
So he's just been doing covers ever since, and it's like, all right. And that's like why I've been like, other than for Megavisions, I don't do the covers. I just quit. I
Yeah.
was like, I'm done with that shit. Like I have no interest in it. So I've been using all these commissions and stuff to like just build up my ability to do a whole book by myself. Um, it would never be monthly because you can't, but to provide a body of work that I can do everything:
Yeah.
coloring, writing, lettering. Because the only way you can be taken seriously by artists is if they see you doing shit that they themselves wouldn't have the fucking balls to do because it's too hard. That's it.
Yeah.
How
No,
many
I agree.
times have you probably heard someone say, he's just working really hard, Allison? There's a lot of effort put into that. I don't know how much you're making per image. Oh, you're doing that shit. So you've quit. You've quit.
Yeah.
Well, no, he's got to be responsible, reasonable. How reasonable or responsible? If they didn't have their name, how do you get a name? Producing a bunch of junk? That's not how it works. Like, the Marvel and DC are ran by two artists that never met a deadline after 1991.
Yep. That's
So it's
fantasy.
like, yeah. So it's like, and if people are wondering, well, Rob's taking digs at Joe Quesada, just let me tell you something. Right here's my copy of Ash from 1994 signed. So I don't want to hear shit. I got, and I own original Ash art. I own an actual page that Humberto Ramos drew from the Cinder fucking miniseries.
I remember that series.
Yeah. So it's like, I know, I've been there, but like, I just whatever. But job and shit is just like some people are made for it. A lot. Actually, I'd say most people are made for it. They just want to be the person who draws some stuff. But it's like it's been the hardest part on like Berserk Boy, like with those guys, because they pretty much just wanted an artist who just drew whatever they wanted, and I was like, yeah, we need to change some stuff, and I didn't get all what I wanted, you know. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but the stuff that I did want that I got in is the stuff that has resonated the most with folks. So it's like when they were like, "We just want this," and they got it, no one cares. So
Exactly.
he's learned. He's learned. He's been like, "Oh," I was like, "Well,
Yeah, I really like your Berserk Boy stuff too. Granted, I just like your art.
I appreciate it," but yeah. like any other project, a group project, it's just like, you got to figure out your place in the group to an extent, but at the
Yeah.
same time, it's like my job is to like make you not. I always tell people if I'm gonna work with you, my job is to make you not worry about whatever I'm doing. Go
Hmm.
worry about other shit. I'm taking I'm taking the worry of this off the table. That's my
Yeah.
whole goal. You just don't have to worry about it.
I still
And
want
so
you to
it's
do an
like,
alt cover for me.
yeah, we'll see about that. But
I'll pay you, obviously.
it's not about the money. It's just interest and time. We'll have to see when we get there. When we get there, we'll see.
Oh, it's a
I'll
long
have to
way.
if I can find yeah if I can find a way. It's so weird. Like it's the hardest thing, Allison. See what I mean? Like even if like
Yeah, it's a long
I
ways
have a
away.
per I have a personal friend, right? That like then they're like, oh, I'll get you one day. I want you, and then when I'm ready to do something, I'm like, yeah, I can't really find a way now to get my head around this. And then they were like, what do you mean? You just draw the thing? And I'm like, yeah, that's called a machine. Like, you might be looking for a machine. It's so weird. I did not understand this concept. The first time I ever heard about it was in context of Bill Watterson, like a guy who was just like just would not do shit. And like, why doesn't he fucking just? We're all doing it. Why doesn't he do it? And I get it. I get it now. Like if I can find my way into it, and I'm sure I will. But like, if I can't, then I won't do it. Like, and you wouldn't want me doing something that I'm not into anyway. I can assure that.
Oh no.
You know, but the people take it personal too. They go, "Oh, what's wrong? Rob doesn't like me." I'm like, no, I like you just fine. Just sometimes, man.
No, I get it.
Like I was doing these indie covers for some Kickstarters for a while, and like Homeboy was like, "I'll let you draw what you draw, whatever you want to draw," and I'm like, "Thank you. You'll let me draw however I want to draw. Appreciate it." So I did that. He never published it. He didn't promote it. He paid me. Didn't promote it. Didn't. I knew he didn't like it. Didn't ever publish it. It's the big purpley Valkyrie piece.
Oh, that was cool.
Nope, he did not like it. So
Yeah, it sucks.
it does. And so like you start wondering, is it me? You're like, I wonder what's going on here. But I did the math, like, and I'm like, it's really quite simple. When you have a voice, people generally just they when you have a voice, you're eliminating 50% of your audience. That's pretty much it. So that 50% might be the person paying you to make the art too. So they're in that lump.
Yeah.
So it's like I had these guys hit me up last night about some video game work, and they were like, "Hey man, you want to like paint backgrounds and stuff?" And I'm like, I haven't replied to it because my answer is going to be no.
Yeah.
Like it's a cool project. Would have loved to do that like 10 years ago, but now no. What about me says painting backgrounds for your video game? I'm trying to figure that one out.
I don't
Like,
quite understand that one.
yeah, what they see is you got talent, you can do work for us to make our dreams come true. Yeah, I'm not doing that. Not here to make your dreams come true. But you're an artist. No, I am. What you're looking for is a machine. I'm a cartoonist. Right? I'm not an artist. I make cartoons. Yeah. I could never get one publisher to let me do this. You know, I tried. I tried. I could do this and I could do that. Yeah, well, then fuck them. You know, like no, like I mean, why am I like I? This is the part of me that is more 15-year-old Rob than 40-year-old Rob. 15-year-old Rob was like, I don't give a shit if you don't fucking like what I'm doing. I'm doing what I'm doing. And as I got older, I was like, well, you know, you got to make, we're in the business and you got to fucking play ball. And I'm like, you know what playing ball did for me? Nothing. Name one. I have to remind people of all the shit I did professionally. The shit
Yeah,
you people remember is the stuff that I had 100% total input on. That's the only stuff people remember me from. Is the stuff that I did everything on. Like people remember Game Informer. I had zero input from anyone on that. That's all me.
I love that Game Informer cover that has like everything on it. That was so cool.
I appreciate it. But props to them for staying the hell out of it. You know, like super props. But or they remember my commissions or something. You know, but it's like no one goes, man, I really thought that cover you did for blah 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 in 2012 was really. It just doesn't happen.
Mm.
You know, or the T-shirt work I did, or the video game magazine stuff. No one remembers that.
And I said, I just love your stuff, so I'm just a fan of Rob.
Well, it's I'm just trying to put that out there for anyone else to follow. Just
Yeah.
you know, if you're really good at just making shit for people, perfect, do that.
Hmm.
But if at some point, if you're like, how come my stuff ain't getting better? I'm gonna tell you why. It's because all you're doing is making art for everyone else. Well, what do I do? I got bills a bit. Yeah, you do. It sucks. I ran into this. The biggest time I ran into this problem was my last 2 years of college when I was working full time and freelancing and going to college. But my freelance work really wasn't drawing. It was like typesetting, graphic design, logo shit.
Yeah.
You know, it's the only thing I get people to pay me to do. And like, so I really wasn't drawing at all. Like, I couldn't even find 1 hour a day to draw.
Oh, that
You know, I
sucks.
there was an artist I knew who was like, I draw for at least an hour every day, and I'm like, how do I find an hour? It's not the want.
Yeah.
It was I didn't have an hour a day to draw. And so like, what I started doing at that point was going, okay, I'm not in the making stuff phase. I got to be in the if I don't have an hour a day to draw, I can't be in the making stuff phase. So I started just working on perspective and construction. But then what I would do is come up with these little layouts that I would piecemeal throughout an entire week. I'd come with one layout in 1 week, you know,
Mm.
and then they would just sit there because I didn't have any place to ink them or draw them or anything. And then I would just constantly do that. But like it was not easy. It's slow, you know, like. Um, but within a year, I was able to start to put together my own work that got me, you know, a drawing job. So it's like there are ways to do it. It's just things slow down. You know, they slow down big time.
I hear you. I gotta step away for a bit. I'm getting a little. I need to lay down. But I'll
Oh,
talk with you later.
wait.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I'm just suddenly getting a little spaced.
Yeah, that's fine.
Um,
Go.
yeah, I'll talk to you later. And I love your work as always. I can
Oh,
listen
I
to your.
appreciate it.
I can listen to you complain all the time.
Complain.
I love you, Rob. Have a good one.
Peace. What time is it? 10. Hey, what's up, Elliot? Trying to get this inking done. So I can get the color pencil done. Rob, absolutely blown away by your work. It's been so inspiring watching a bunch of your art tip videos and starting back with the basics. Can't quite afford the No Man Workshop monthly subscription for Scott Roberts, so I've been looking up free mini lesson stuff. Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest, the stuff that I'm referencing, he did in like 2004. So they're like in 480p. They're older bits. I don't even know if they're on there anymore. You can find them if you know where to look on the internet. So hit me up on Facebook. I might be able to send you a link. he I bought those things like 5 fucking times back in the day. So I'm not like I have like 5 physical DVDs laying around somewhere. I bought every physical Gnome on DVD, but the Scott Roberts and stuff is I don't think it's even available anymore on their account. Paste. Give me a second. I have to All right, finish this up. But like I said, there's just this point in your career where you get to like, you're like, I know what I want to do with my time. And clients and maybe your current followers, you're gonna lose most of them when you go that route. And that's okay. Lose them. Cut them out. Fuck it. You don't need them, you know? Yeah. It can take a real personal, like, it can take a personal offense to, is it slight? What's the word I'm thinking of? They can just take it personal. Well, why don't you just do the thing? Why don't you just do it anymore? You can draw. It's like not a month goes by, I don't get someone on Instagram going, "Hey man, I love what you do. Would you draw like a logo for my YouTube thing?" And I'm like, "What part of fucking YouTube logos do you see in my freaking Instagram?" I never do that. I go, "No, I'm sorry, I'm not taking on any project right now." Hey, I love you too, Yuzo. So it's not my frustration and my like energy today is focused on like I just want you guys out there, you girls, you guys, to be like doubting yourself, when you get to that point, you know? And I doubted myself probably 10 years too long. Like I look at what I was producing in 2006, and if I had just stayed that course, I probably would have gotten where I wanted to get 10 years earlier, But I played the whole, well, you got to work with the publisher and you got to like do that. And all of that derailed everything for me, like for the longest time, you know? And I didn't really get into it. You're not going to find like these. I'm not a guy who makes giant, Facebook or Twitter posts ranting about this. Um, but it took me a long time to like figure out what is going on here. And the culmination of it was about a year ago. I was working with Blizzard, on Overwatch 2, and hating life, just hating it. I refused to quit the project because um, I didn't think it would be responsible to do so. But they didn't want me on the project. Like it was clear they didn't want me or any of the crew I was with on the project, regardless of talent. It really wasn't personal. They just didn't want us there. And we were there. I can't say why, but we were there for a reason. And they just had a fucked up way of working, man. You know, and like, is it as bad as like toxic work? I didn't have that experience, but as an artist, I was like, okay, this is not the fundament. This isn't the shit that they were selling themselves on. You know, every year at BlizzCon, like this isn't. This is not an art. This is a. You come in here, you do what we do. Um, you just become a little cog in the fucking machine, and any idea you add into it will just be summarily rejected. And forget just the ideas. If you don't draw exactly the way we draw, I was being told how to draw, like how to draw. Like you have to have these kind of sketches have to have lines. I'm like, why? Because we don't want anything clean. I'm like, well, I blob in my sketches. Well, we don't do blobbies. I'm like, here's where you did blobbies in the Art of Overwatch book. So you do them. You just don't want me doing them. You know. And it was shit like that. And I was just like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not gonna sit here and like tell any fucking artist like how to fucking arrive at the ideas. Like just present Present the work. Present the ideas. So we can get on to making the cool shit. There's no time for this. There's a lot of fucking work to do to be questioning and like second guessing every little line you put down. How can you possibly be creative if you were doing that? How could you possibly improve? Let alone just like make something cool. If you're like, oh no, they're gonna, and I spent 5 weeks, guys, 5 weeks on a sketch, one sketch that they conjured up. It wasn't my idea, you know, and because they didn't know what they wanted, you know, um, they couldn't explain how they wanted it. They were just like critiquing every little line. This can't work because of this, and that can't work because of this, and this doesn't flow into that. I'm like, what flow? What flow? Yeah, Gavin, send me a DM on Facebook. I'll send you a link later on. Don't worry about it. Dude got his money from Rob. So I have them. I'll send you them. Yeah, they probably don't want to pay him to do them over again because they're in 480p. But I don't give a shit. Like, let the content be in 480p. So, but just letting you know, Gavin, when I send this stuff to people, it's like I'll send it to you, no problem, because most people quit. They watch the video once, they do some of the exercises, and then they go on to make their comic. Like that isn't what I did. I've watched the DVDs, followed the DVDs, and then spent 2 years just doing the content in the DVDs. 2 years. As complex as he makes it. Drawing from center, gridding things out, Xing, drawing through the X, figuring all that technical shit out every time. And the art I was making was very technical. It wasn't artistic, but I was learning how to do it. Now I just do it all at once in my head, or as I'm drawing, right? It's why you don't see me with the ruler. If I had to draw a big city, I wouldn't be sitting here with the ruler having to line everything up. You don't need to. Once you understand how that guy works, once you understand about just parallel lines. Like when I tell people, like, as long as you know how to parallel, you're fine. What does that mean? Well, you didn't do the exercises, so how do you know? You know? Like once you're just like, hey, I got this goes this way, right? Let's say that's a street, and the street comes this way, and the street comes this way, and it comes this way. And then this is parallel to this, right? Then as you create the boxes, you can go up, and then this is parallel, then this falls, and these come back, and then this is all these would be just parallel to one another. Anything that's coming this way will be parallel, see? Receding back to a horizon line. And you don't see me over here like drawing this and all this shit. Like, but that's 2 years I did that. Everyone in my art college thought I was nuts. So you're not producing cool shit. They'd sit in this. They had this lounge, right? Small lounge where the coffee lady was. Great coffee lady, by the way. She used to make me these spicy chai lattes, super sugary but good. And she they'd be out there drawing. They'd be like, "You want to draw?" And I would just draw like squares and grids and and they were like, "Whoa." And everyone's drawing cool like animated toasters and hot chicks and fucking Halo, you know. So yeah, I mean, like I always tell people, you want to do good morning exercises. Watch this, right? Let's just have fun with like cubes. Always sketch with a pen, by the way. Like I like these little Sharpie pens. They're cheap. They last forever. Never dry out. But let's just start with cubes, right? And let's just open up the third eye. And let's have this cube. recede way down. Look at that. Look at that depth we got right there. Look at that. Right? And I could draw through it, right? I know center would be here, right? So that's my center point. So if I had to connect everything, that would be kind of running straight through there. But I also know that means centers here. And then parallel, parallel, parallel into tiny little atmospheric infinities, right? So like, but see, I'm going here. This is going this way, this way. That means this, this. This is all just parallel. These are just parallel lines. And then, but this is what I do. Like I can then warp it. I taught myself how to do this. I can warp this stuff into weird angles and stuff. And if it's not 100% perfect, who gives a shit? Like, you know, the more perfect it is, the less artistic it'll be anyway. So it's like, if it's a little off, who cares? There's enough going right that it doesn't really matter. But this right here, this, and then this would be parallel, and that would be parallel. See, it's just parallel lines. Gotta open up the third eye, my friend. You know, but it will work. Like, but most people just quit. you you want to know when you know it's working, Gavin? When it hurts right in your head, like behind your eyeballs, up just right above. Like for me, it's above my right eyeball, up in the forehead, just back 1 inch. It's like right up here, like with the widow's peaks area. I could just like where the stormtrooper hit his head, dent in the helmet. You know, that's how you know it's working. The pain. But I can assure you, if I can teach myself based off those DVDs, anyone can. Because yeah, I've always had, artistic talent, but was not the best artist in school ever, you know, by a long shot. It was always one of those things where people would look at it and go, I could see there's something what you're doing, but it was never there. It was never there, you know. So it just took a long time. I thought college would help, but college just got in the fucking way. Went to the wrong college, apparently. But luckily, those DVDs came out right around my last couple years, and 2003, 2004, and was just able to like articulate what I'd been already arriving at, you know. And then I just spent the next couple years just doing that. Where's my .05? Oh, there it is. That's why when folks are like, "Hey man, if you use this program, it'll line all your perspective up." I'm like, I already do that. Like, I get if you didn't know how to do that, that would help. Now, for me, programs like that get in the way of drawing. They just get in the way because they're forcing me to like use the algorithm to correct my perspective. And I'm like, no, I'm breaking this intentionally right here for dynamics. I don't want everything to line up perfectly to the horizon. You know, everything on Calvin and Hobbes doesn't line up perfectly to the horizon. Can you imagine if he was like using some fucking computer algorithm to perfect that? It would look like dog shit. Bad. We made him Berkeley breathed. Imagine Outland, Bloom County, all fucking technicaled out in Clip Studio Paint. It would look like horse crap. Ralph Steadman's inks all perfectly fucking lined up. You learn it and then you unlearn it. The key to any art is you learn to do it right and then you unlearn that shit. Or you just never do it right. Just do it cool. You know, a lot of artists, a lot of musicians, did quite well with their careers. Never learned how to fucking read music or write music. Who cares? They played music. So at some point, it's like, but if you want to learn it right. Don't cheat yourself, and then you will level up, man. It's so. There's an artist that I used to work with who hit me up a couple years ago for art lessons, and I would never do it, but I knew this person personally, and I'm like, look, I'm willing to give you, 2 hours every week for $50, and you could pay 1 week and then not show up for a month or two. That's fine by me. And that went about, twice, and then they never came back because they're trying to find the trick, you know. There's some little trick Rob does, and when he'll like reveal it, and I'm like, no, there's no trick. Time for a grocery run. The message you later. So I think we're gonna put. Yeah, anytime, Gavin. I wish there was a trick. I could get a lot more done if there was a trick. I'm not good at tricks. I don't, not so good at it. Yeah, good at complaining. I'm good at doing the hard work, right? But there's not good at tricks. Sorry. Work on some of these thicknesses. I'm not good at like that one brush stroke. You do one stroke and then you're done. I'm like, I'm not good at that. I can do it. It's not what I prefer to do. I like to push and pull, kind of step back and go, no, more like that. A little bit more like this. When I have the luxury, if there's a time crunch, then you just move faster. But if you're a little thoughtful about it while you're doing your own work, then you can not have to put as much thought into it when you're doing timed timed work, right? Boosh. This is ready for color pencil. What time is it? It's 10:30. I need to go do my workout. I'm gonna start some of the color pencil off camera. Um, but whatever's left over, I will get to tomorrow morning. I'm behind schedule today. I'm about 4 hours off schedule, so not a good day. But if I can't stream it, I can't stream it. I can't stream everything. I try, folks. I really do try. But I haven't streamed inking in a while, so you know, tonight I need to get this Power Rangers thing kind of going again. So actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna finish this tonight, and then I'll start Power Rangers tomorrow. I just want this out off my table. So I will do a little bit on my own, but then between 4:30 MDT and 8:30 or 9 o'clock, I'll be back to finish the rest, and we'll wrap this up tonight. So I can move on to the Power Ranger shit tomorrow. And the tomorrow, that's the whole thing. I gotta do this toothless commission and get that fucking done, and then I've got 2 scud commissions to do and a apocalypse commission. I'll do 1 scud and apocalypse, and then the big scud bit, and then no more commissions for a while. So no more commissions for a while. All right. I'll see you all later. Thanks for hanging out. Gotta go work out.